starting point, all right? God is the standard. We're going to find that out today. But of course, disclaimer, I'm speaking from experience. Gabby's speaking from experience. You know, a lot of the things we're learning here is from experience and from talking with other people. Because in case you didn't know, boyfriend-girlfriend stuff is pretty subjective, right? Like, you can't put it as a factual statement. Because no matter who you talk to, everyone's going to give you a different idea about what it is. So of course with this, I'm not saying this is like the truth. I'm not saying this is the Bible and like believe it, you know, from the first letter to the period. No, like, I'm just saying think about this. All right? Like I want to challenge a bit more, probe a bit more on your thoughts about this topic, okay? But with that being said, whoever can guess these will get a point.
Romantic
Got it?
reference?
Romantic reference. You gotta raise your hand. So whoever's hand I see first is what I'll call on first. Got it?
Icebreaker.
Ready? So what is this?
If you guys don't get it, then you guys are okay.
What is this romantic reference?
Strawberries.
Blackberries?
Hey, what? Prunes? Not prunes, Kate. Nicole? Dates. There you go. Nicole.
Wait, no, wait, hey! No, this isn't fair. No, fair. How is it not fair? That's not a romantic reference. That's just.
You'll see.
They're called
Because
dates.
yeah, they're called dates. Like you want to go on a date?
Yeah, I know. But like,
It's like they're giving out dates.
that's like how you want to Hershey kiss.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, that's gonna be one of them.
Alright, ready? What's the next one? What is this romantic reference?
What?
Oh, family
Any-
tree.
Family like.
What?
Well, okay, when I say romantic reference, I mean like common phrases or words that people would say.
Is it marriage?
Not marriage.
Love.
Husband, wife,
No.
maternity.
Nope, you already got your guesses. You know what else? It's a common phrase that you might hear a lot. So just look at this picture.
In-laws.
So what does everyone have in common with other
Great,
people?
grand.
Suchi?
I love my family.
No.
Uncle, aunt, children, married,
What you say?
brother, daughter, husband, father,
No,
grandmother.
that's not it. Was relative? Not relative. Annie?
The heart is like they're married. Right? Because the
No.
heart means they're married.
I mean it is, but that's not what I'm trying to get at.
You break my
So
heart.
just look at like all of these pictures, right? What do they have in common with each other?
They all have children and they're all married.
Okay. So this is a family tree,
They're
right?
aging.
So a family tree tells you what between people. Nicole?
Relationship.
Relationship.
What? No, but she has so many clues.
So they're in.
Does everyone understand now? Yes.
So they're in a relationship. You get it?
So like romantic
Just gave
reference
it back.
as
Oh my God.
was in a relationship with that
Bruh.
Guys, like romantic reference as in like what people would say
Normally
to
say.
boyfriend, girlfriend.
So like,
So like we're going on a date or we're in a relationship.
Ready?
Bruh.
Next one. Okay. This one might be a little bit harder. So if you guys need help, I can give you a clue. Okay.
Okay.
So what is this romantic reference?
Divorce.
No. That's not romantic at all. Okay, Suji. Not marriage. Courtship.
Oh!
What? I was going to say children custody.
Children custody. What the heck? I don't know what kind of romance you did. That's not romantic at all.
Courtship.
All right. What's this next one?
Hudson, put me down.
Yeah, here you go. What's this romantic reference?
Opening the door for the person to be
Door to the heart.
polite.
Raise your hand. I gotta see your hand. Okay, Grace.
Door to your heart.
Nope. Oh, that's a good one, but no.
Wait, what the heck did you say?
Door to your heart. That's not it.
Oh, what?
Wait, I think
Welcome to the family.
Nope. Nope. Suji?
it's like this word, and
No,
this
that's
word
crazy.
is dead. No,
It's dead.
I can't think right now.
Chivalry! Let's go! Chivalry?
No. I mean, that's a good one, but that's not it. That's not it.
You baited me.
She did it.
Sorry.
Okay, so
Wait. Start each slide with "we are."
oh yeah, okay, so complete this
Courteous.
complete this sentence. We are
We are
Friendly.
family.
Nice.
no. So we are, what are they doing? We are what are they doing?
Polite.
No?
Opening a door for our loved one.
Where are they
We
going?
are on a date.
We're
No,
open.
no, no. We already did it, Nicole.
Going out.
Going out.
Out, 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 out. Get out.
Justin, out. Are you asking her out? Good one, Justin. All right. What is this romantic reference?
Wait. So now we get it, right?
Yeah.
We're going on a date.
Yeah.
We're
Going
in a
out.
relationship.
Are you guys going out for your
We're
second
going
honeymoon?
out.
A second honeymoon? What? Wait, what kind of second honeymoon?
All right, ready? What's this one?
Second.
So complete the sentence. We are.
Intimate.
No.
Kissing.
Raise your hand. Not kissing, not intimate.
Oh.
Looking at each other.
We're staring deep into each other's souls.
Close.
We are having a moment together.
Oh, that's a good one, but not that one.
We are.
Think of like a common like dating phrase you would hear that's related to this picture.
Going through
We're in
therapy.
love.
No.
Going through couples
So
therapy.
what are they doing? It's a common phrase. Common phrase for people who are dating.
Bonding.
Finishing.
No, not found.
We're finishing each other's sentences.
No.
Spending time with each other.
That's what you said.
We're on each other.
Anyone else?
It's a phrase. Can you give us another hint?
Okay.
Why does she look kind of angry?
So just focus on their action. What are they doing?
They're not very.
But you gotta think of it in a dating terms, dating phrases.
Nervous. They're looking at each other's eyes.
You guys getting close.
They're looking at.
We are lost in each other's eyes.
That's close. No.
We are stopped in our tracks.
Amazing.
We can come back to that if you guys don't know.
Yes.
We are terrified of each
So
other.
I'm telling you that.
Terrifying.
So here's another hint. It has to do specifically, yes, number one with their action, and number two with their eyes. So you guys are getting close to it.
The guy's staring at her.
So-
She's so beautiful.
So remember, it's a
Respectful.
common romantic or dating phrase.
Also not respectful.
What's it called? Lost in love.
So what are they doing? What's their action?
Looking at each other.
You guys are doing like 10,000
Looking glass.
word strings.
You would come
Looking
back?
within
You guys want to come
them.
back?
Yeah.
Okay, so come
So
back.
she's the door to his leg.
All right, ready? This one should be pretty easy. So this one is.
Are they partners?
What is this phrase?
More than friends.
Grace. That's our Grace goes. Yeah. Good job. Put Grace down.
Everyone's already
More than friends.
All right, ready? Next one. What is this one?
They're probably just
What is this romantic reference?
Third wheel. Third wheel. Third wheel. Third wheel. Third wheel.
Third video. That's a good one, though.
profession.
Sushi?
Jealous. We are jealous. We're a thing.
Close.
We're partners.
So again, look at their actions.
We're
Look at their
partners.
actions. Suchi?
We're talking.
We're talking. There you go.
What?
They're talking. Look.
He just threw his phone in the
Suchi, yeah.
Hey, hey, hey.
They're talking.
Tip the card on that.
They're talking. They're talking. So look at the simple action. Okay, the simple action. And you're back. Alright, what's this next one? What's this next one? Again, focus on the actions, okay? It doesn't need to be complicated. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, okay? So again, first hand I see. Not the first voice, but the first hand, okay? So what is this romantic reference? This might be a little bit difficult. So again, focus on the action, okay?
What?
So-
Stealing each other's hands.
Suji?
We're fighting? Or are you?
No, not fighting. Justin?
Those are my freaking oats.
Well, that's a romantic reference. that's what he would say. No, not hard.
I'm gonna say that. We're breaking up. That's not romantic.
Anyone else? The action. Focus on the action.
What's happening?
He's fighting.
Okay.
The Quaker is
He's
taking
stealing
the
something, Chris. We're laughing our cereal.
No, that's not romantic reference.
Our cereal.
Okay.
What's
So
happening to the oats?
They're being stolen or stolen?
They're different word.
You're stealing my love.
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
Stealing the love
Grace?
is taking me away.
Take it.
Close enough. Taken.
What? I'm taking
I'm
my
taking.
Take it.
I'm taking.
Oh!
Wait, I thought it was we are. So we
The
are.
goat
I'll
is
change
being
it.
taken.
I'll change it. I put Grace down.
Oh my god.
Okay, next one.
Okay, ready?
Wait.
Ready? Here you
Yeah.
I guess I'm just not a romantic.
go. Grace?
You're number one.
No.
You're my number one.
Close. Close. No. It's 2 words.
You're a winner. You're a keeper.
Love at first sight.
No.
You're a
Love at
keeper.
No.
No.
You're a winner.
No.
You're my number one. You're my world.
No. Grace.
My elementary love. One.
That's you.
Oh,
guys.
no.
Soulmate.
Really, really
Really
close.
Soulmate. No.
My first.
Monogamy.
No.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. My only love, the very
No.
right day. You my one little
No.
We get it. You saw that.
Okay. So the first hand I see, okay? It starts out with the word the.
What?
What?
The what?
Wait. I say, okay.
That's it. 3.
No.
2.
Okay.
No.
The best?
No.
The only one?
You're so close.
Oh my god.
Listen.
The exclusive relationship.
It's just 2 words.
The
The
one-
what?
Oh!
The best.
Grace.
I said soulmate.
No.
God. I hate this game.
Go back to
You're kidding me.
So was it? That one. Okay, what's this one again?
I don't know. Give us more hints.
Couples therapy.
Okay,
We're angry. We're fighting.
we are.
A thing.
The action.
Staring in each other's eyes. We're connected.
So if you ask like some of your friends like, hey, how are you and this person doing?
Is that your boyfriend? Is that your girlfriend?
They might say,
They're
"Oh,
saying,
we
no,
are-"
we're just.
See each other.
Seeing each other.
Just a guy.
Let's go.
He's acting like you want $100. Auntie.
Okay. All right. So you guys tell me, what is dating and what is being in a
Only
relationship?
one and be one.
You guys tell me, what does it mean? What does it mean, Justin?
Dating means to have gone on at least one date with the person.
Yay.
Okay.
Such a great definition.
Being in a relationship, well, I mean, like you meet someone and you're technically in a relationship.
Right. Like the simplest term. What about in a romantic term?
I mean, it depends on the person.
Depends on the person. So what about you? Depending on Justin Chat. What would you say?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, anyone else? What does it mean? Come on, we throw these words around a lot, right? But then how often do we actually say, okay, this is what I mean?
We're together.
So we're together,
If
great?
you walk around school together, you're basically dating.
We are not a thing. I guess dating means maybe like seeing each other in a romantic way.
Uh-huh.
Or trying to improve your relationship.
Okay, okay.
So why would you not want to improve your relationship with someone?
Wait, what about being in a relationship then?
It's like, yeah, our relationship's good, I guess. I don't really need to
Dating? so you're equating them?
We're not together. We're just friends.
Interesting.
No.
We're just friends who can
Okay, wait, hey,
Hold on, Suji first.
Oh, being in a relationship is more like with your intimate other, but a relationship in general could be like within the friends or your family.
Uh-huh. And what about dating?
When you both consider each other like intimate, I guess. Or,
Okay.
like, exclusive.
Okay.
She's
Go ahead,
in love
Justin.
with her comment.
people who have been dating aren't necessarily in a relationship, but people who are in a relationship date.
What?
Hold on.
What?
What?
Wait, what?
I didn't see other
I don't get it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the.
Say that again, say it again.
People who are in a romantic relationship
Uh-huh.
date. Okay, usually
Usually.
are dating,
Uh-huh.
but not all people who date are in a relationship.
I think that was the other way around.
Okay, so you go on like 2 dates with this guy, but he's like super lame and you don't want to go on
So you
a date.
don't like him.
So then are you in a relationship even though you're dating?
You reject him.
Not dating though. If you want.
You literally go on dates!
Well, if you were in a relationship, what if you never gone on a date?
Alright,
What if it's
come back
just
here, come back here. Okay, so for simplicity's sake and for conversation's sake, I'm going to give a definition. Because obviously, let's say we're struggling here to differentiate between dating and being in a relationship, right? It's hard to draw the line. So let's just, for argument's sake, let's just say it's this, okay? So I'm going to give 2 different definitions. One is more like pop culture definition, and then the other one is more like, I guess like
Dictionary.
maybe dictionary version.
Relationship is more intimate, I guess, because dating is just like a crush or something.
Yeah, so like this. I think this is what you're trying to say. So dating, according to Urban Dictionary, if you guys are looking at that.
They don't really
This is like Andy's Credible Cat source.
Exactly. Urban Dictionary says dating is where 2 people who are attracted to each other spend time to see if they can stand to be around each other most of the time. If this is successful, they develop a relationship. Oh, you're right. So it's similar to what
That's what I'm telling you.
So Justin said that the simple act of dating, because if you look at like, for example, like back in like earlier in the 1900s, dating just meant like you're basically just like hanging out.
seeing each other.
You're just hanging out.
So you hang out with your friend, that means you're dating your friends?
Well, back in that time, yes. So for example, like me and Hudson would be like, hey Hudson, this next Friday we're going on a date. But what we're gonna hang next Friday we're going on a date. First we're gonna go to basketball, then we're gonna go blah blah blah. But that just means you're hanging out. So today people wouldn't say date because it's been used too much with romantic stuff. Today people say, hey, like even if you had an opposite sex friend, you would say, hey, you want to go hang out? Oh yeah, cool, right? You wouldn't say, hey, you want to go on a date? Because then they'll be like,
That's just what they say when they want to
No, we're just friends.
exactly.
Okay, let's just say that. That's what guys say if they want to ask someone out, but they're too scared to.
to hang out?
Yeah.
Wanna hang out?
Interesting. But of course, Cambridge.
I know from experience.
The Cambridge Dictionary.
Yeah, so Cambridge says a person you are planning to meet socially and in whom you might have a romantic interest. So what Cambridge is saying is that you wouldn't just ask a random person if they want to go on a date.
What?
You would only ask people who are.
You totally would though.
What?
Well, according to Cambridge
It is a
Dictionary,
dare.
you would only ask.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course you would think of a dare.
So you would only ask people who you have some interest in. Does that make sense? So you wouldn't just ask like a random person. You would ask like, for example, if you saw that this person like for a while, like, oh, they're pretty cool, they stand out, you know. Oh, I wonder, I have a semi-interest, I want to get to know them more. And so if this interest can develop and mature into something else, then we can only know that if we go on a date. But the problem is, as soon as you say date, right, they're gonna be like, oh, so that I know that they have a romantic interest.
Everything
Right?
goes crashing down.
But if you just say hang out, then they're like, oh yeah, we're just hanging out. I don't need to like. I
So
don't
what
need
you've
to put on my
never
best
done
like
before,
show.
and you gotta-
Unless you're showing, unless
You
you're
guys
giving
got it?
them a bunch of hints and then.
So here's an example. Here's an example of dating. Okay. If you guys ever are familiar with The Bachelor,
Oh, that's
So-
like just in time.
so this is dating, right?
Times 20.
So this is dating, and the reason why this is dating
Stop seeing so many
is
girls.
because this one guy, he's not committed, okay, to anyone yet, right? This one guy, he has some interest in a lot of these ladies, but he's going on a date with them to show that he has interest, and he wants to see if their relationship can grow.
That would scare like one of my Pokemon pictures.
So he's not loyal to just one. Okay, dating doesn't mean you're loyal to one. According to Cambridge and Urban Dictionary.
That's
okay?
like shocking.
People are dating.
Yeah, and then
I mean, people are dating like this is just crazy.
Right, but this is the extreme example.
It's like everyone's gonna call you a player, freaking player.
No, it's just called
She
good
told us that she
television.
didn't lie and watch.
Well, maybe not good.
So you guys got it now? You guys know what dating is
last
now?
year.
Dating is the simple act of like, for example, getting dinner together to show if your interest in that person will grow. To show if your interest, because so that means that you already have interest. Okay? You already have interest. So then you go to them and say, hey, you want to go on a date? Which means, hey, yes, I have interest in you. And the purpose of the date is to see if these interests will grow. That's it.
Why does that look scarily like when
Maybe it is.
We're in the
And then next, so the other question was, what does it mean to be in a relationship?
Oh, you guys.
Right?
God.
There's
So
many
this is
black
what?
people in the back.
Urban Dictionary says what? When you finally think you meet someone who is like you, bringing on the feeling that you're not alone.
Oh.
Cambridge Dictionary says, close romantic friendship between two people.
Is dating.
In other words, when people say, oh, we're in a relationship, what they're really saying is, like what Suchi mentioned earlier, this is an exclusive relationship, which
I
means
really
that it's
like this.
only between me and one other person.
I mean, for some people.
No one
That
else.
doesn't mean
There's
exclusive.
some people.
At least that's ideal. Right? That's ideal.
But it's
So
Unless you're cheating.
exclusive. So exclusive means it's only for specific people.
Oh.
Inclusive means it's for everyone.
Huh.
So exclusive is saying that it's only me and the person I choose. Okay? So being in a relationship, that's what it means. So if someone says to you, hey, you want to be in a relationship with me? They're like, oh, well that means that it's just you and me, right? It's just you and me. But then obviously if they say, hey, you want to go on a date, then that doesn't mean there's commitment necessarily. It just means you're just seeing if it'll grow,
Yeah,
your
but it's
affections will
still-
grow. Right. It's still telling you something, right?
Yeah.
It's still telling you that the person has some interest, they know some things about you, blah, blah, whatever.
They know something.
But the point is that we have to get these two terms, we have to differentiate, because if not, many people are using these two terms in the same way.
It's like when
Right?
someone
There
asks.
is. No, but.
There's
No,
something,
but like you could go on a date with someone and then you don't have to be dating.
right, you can just go
Like,
a simple
if you
date.
go on a date, then it's not dating. But like if you continuously go on a
You call it dating?
Yeah.
Right.
And then if you take it to the next step,
Uh-huh.
then it's a relationship.
There you go, see? So, do you see, so you guys understand now why I said earlier that
Why are you looking at me?
it's complicated? Because
No, I'm just
everyone has a different like perspective, right? Everyone like defines it differently. Everyone is like saying like, oh no, it's this way, oh no, it's that way. So it's really hard to really like, hammer it down and hit the nail on the head and say that this is what it means to date, or this is what it means to be in a relationship. So whenever you guys like go to school and stuff, and you hear about these things, like, oh, this person's dating that person, or oh, this person's in a relationship with that person. A lot of times they say dating and in a relationship, they mean the same thing.
May dated Miles for like what,
Alright.
2 months?
So what that means is that before you guys start talking about these things with your friends or with people, you should really ask them, hey, can you just refresh my memory on how you define dating or how you define being in a relationship? Because some people might think that dating is just the simple act of just like having dinner together. And that's it. Whereas other people might think that no, actually dating is you have a growing romantic interest and you're working towards loyalty and commitment. Right? So the point is this is that all of you guys and all of us here need to define that. Okay, define that, okay? And we see this when you're in a relationship, but just like Mulan. Right? Because obviously they're not going around trying to like, talk to other people, right? No, because they're in a relationship. So what that means is it's only between her and her man. And that's it.
Her man.
No one else. That is in a relationship. Okay?
What? No, try out.
Yeah.
So long time ago, when Fong and I,
Started seeing each other.
well, we didn't really. But I asked him. I said, so what is this? Are we like in a relationship or are we dating? Does this mean it's just me and you, or are you gonna see me and other people? We both agreed it was just a me and him. Not like I want to date you, but I'm also dating like 2 other people on the side too, because I want to see which one. But just to help make that have that make some sense.
So then that begs the question, right? Everyone talks about this stuff, but then the real question is this. And I don't know if you guys think about this yet, but here's the real question. Why do people have boyfriend or girlfriend?
Yeah.
Because they're hormonal.
Because they're hormonal, okay?
What?
Okay, Annie?
I think it's another way to tell other guys or girls that you're taken. Like if you are married, like a husband or wife, and you have agreed to do it. Instead of you're just like dating when you guys aren't really married, the phrase I have a girlfriend or boyfriend tells people that you're already taken.
That doesn't answer the question in any way.
Why do people have a big idea?
I guess it does for Annie. Anyone else? Anyone else? Why? What's the point? What's the purpose? Because we talk about it all the time, right? But like, why? Why? Because think about how many things you do in your life where you have a purpose, right? Why do you go to school? Oh, so you can go to college and you get a job, make money, live in life, right? Why do you eat food? Oh, so you won't die. Why do you drink water? So you won't die, right? But how come when it comes to dating or having a boyfriend girlfriend, we don't have a reason why?
Because it makes us happy.
Yeah, they
Makes us happy. But why?
Because
Because someone cares about you.
That's
They're like testing the waters. before
Courtship.
They commit to the
Those are just fun.
Okay, testing it before marriage, that's what he said. Testing the waters before marriage, that's what Hudson said.
This is the waters before having a kid.
Interesting.
Ooh.
All right, anything else? Why? It's a good question, right? Why should you be in a, why should you have a boyfriend or girlfriend?
so you
Why?
can experiment.
To find a
with life.
suitable mate.
Suitable mate. Okay. Because like if your friends at school kept pressuring you, right? Like, hey, you should like ask this girl, hey, you should talk to this guy, you know? Hey, stop putting her to get all these things, right? But then the question is, or here's the question. Why? Right?
Yeah, they want
Because
to
it's
see
cool.
tea.
Okay.
Never say that
Drama.
again. Don't say that.
Drama.
We
Okay.
have a hot tea right here.
Any other ideas? Why?
Wow.
Why do we have boyfriend? Why do we have girlfriend? You guys, all of you tell me why.
So you can brag to all your friends about it.
Yeah, to
Be
brag about
Just to
it.
brag?
Oh my
Like,
god.
hey, I'm in a relationship.
Okay.
Are you this girl? We like watched a movie. Isn't that crazy? Like,
Wow. So I don't expect an answer. I just want you guys to think about it, okay? Because I understand that when you go to school, like whatever movies or music you listen to, many times there's that message or there's that like pressure, right? But no one ever stops to ask the question, why? Why does it matter? Why is it that if you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, people all of a sudden start like, you're always a loser, right? Or oh, blah, blah, whatever. Start talking bad about you. So the question is why? Why is that, Annie?
To find someone they can actually like have some
what?
like have some things in common.
Come on.
Because like if you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, people are gonna think that you're like the outsider, right?
Okay, Suchi?
Stuff like that.
Because of labels and stereotypes.
Labels and
Oh, Phil. God.
Anything else? If not, we'll continue this journey and maybe at the end we can have a better idea. Okay, that's fine. But here's a couple things though. You guys mentioned it, but here's a couple things. So in this idea of boyfriend-girlfriend, there's two big assumptions, okay? And the first one is to be human, is to be in a romantic relationship. What that means is that if you are a person and you have never been in a romantic relationship, people would be tempted to say to you, wow, you've never truly lived.
Yeah.
And if they say that to you, what they're meaning is that to be human is to be in a romantic relationship. And if you've never been in a romantic relationship, you're not human and you're truly not living life.
What a dream.
Think about it. Just think about it, okay? That is an assumption of the boyfriend-girlfriend dilemma. That again, people are assuming that if you are never dated or had a boyfriend-girlfriend before, you're not a person. You're not living life. You're dead. You're just a corpse. You're a zombie. It's only when you have a boyfriend or girlfriend or you experience that, then you truly started to live.
What for a kid?
Right. That's the other question. Right?
That's me.
That's the other question.
You alien.
But- And then the other assumption is this, that love and acceptance equals romantic relationship. Which means that if you can be in a romantic relationship, that means that you are lovable. That means that you are accepted by someone. That's the assumption, right? That this is the definition of love. That if someone does love you, now I'm not talking about your parents, but if someone else loves you, and I'm not talking about your family or anything like that, but if someone else loves you, it should show. How? Well, have a boyfriend or girlfriend. And if you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, you're not loved.
Wow.
That's the assumption. That is the message that is not said. But then many times whenever you go to like school or talk to your friends and they talk about these things, there's a lot of chattering. Essentially, that's what they're saying, right? They're saying it without saying it. They're saying that, hey, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, that means that you are lovable, you are acceptable, you are, worthy of, having someone's affection or time and attention. And if you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, well, perhaps you're not worthy.
You need your rite of passage.
Exactly, rite of passage, right? And so in other words, these are the assumptions, okay? So keep these two things in mind. That to be human is to be in a romantic relationship, and to feel loved and to feel accepted is to be in a romantic relationship. That is the message that we hear a lot. But this is where we see it, okay? Prime example. And I know this might be a little silly, but I'll expound on it a bit more. So first one. So these assumptions, this is where these messages are constantly circulated, okay?
What is this?
Think about it. How many Disney or Pixar movies have you ever seen where they did not have a romantic partner?
Inside Out.
Moana.
Inside Out Moana?
Inside Out did, though.
Yeah.
At the end.
At the end.
Right, but it's still there. So think about it. All these movies for children, right? Movies for children are constantly training little kids to say, hey, in order to be the hero or the heroine, you need to have a partner.
Humpty Dumpty.
You need to have someone who loves you. You need to have someone who will walk this journey with you. And if you don't have that someone, well, your journey is not complete, or your journey's never started. But how many movies like this have you seen as a little kid? Okay? Exactly, tons. So the question is why? Why is it
Drives the plot.
No,
Drives the plot.
Tinkerbell likes Peter Pan, though.
Yeah, Peter Pan, see? So the question is why is all of this romantic stuff, why is that embedded in our children's movies?
Oh, the dog movie about Copper and Todd the Fox.
I don't know.
I think their
What?
parents are best
I
friends.
don't know.
What movie are you?
Is it like Alfred?
What?
But not only that, so
Oh no, wait.
if we take it a step further, what do we see as well? So not just kids' movies, okay? But this message is also circulated in what?
Pinocchio.
A lot of the more live action movies, right?
Pinocchio.
So Wonder Woman. Right, it's in everything. It's in everything. So these are things that you might have seen more recently, right? So like Wonder Woman, for example, right? Spider-Man. Spider-Man's supposed to be what, like 16 in high school, right? And so think about it, right?
That's just a high school thing.
And so not only that, so
It's supposed to
Beauty and the Beast. So you see this in everything, even in a lot of the movies we watch right now. They're always saying to you, hey, you know, like for example, Spider-Man, right? Hey, Spider-Man can't be Spider-Man without having something to fight for.
Jurassic Park.
Such as Mary Jane, MJ, or such as these other people, right? And so you see this message in so many movies today. Like so many times, this message has become so pervasive, so common that we don't even think twice about it anymore. Like, oh, Spider-Man has a girlfriend. Okay. Like we don't even think about it.
Of course Spider-Man has a girlfriend, he's Spider-Man.
We don't even think about it, right? Exactly. We don't even think about it.
The one.
But the point is, all of this is around you. This is all around you. This message is all around you. But with that being said, earlier I asked some of you guys as well, hey, what's a popular love song? Despacito.
No! That's a great love song.
Oh, remember when Alex was singing it last year?
Am I the only one who doesn't think it's always as good as everybody else says it is? I'm living in the
So you guys know those lyrics, right?
It's beautiful.
So that's
These are caught on the screen.
So that's the point, right?
I have to be careful not to let people think I listen to it.
So a lot of this music, think about it. Earlier I asked, hey, how many of you guys actually listen and think about the lyrics?
No, it's just
Very few people.
It just started 3 days ago.
Very few
It just
people
started.
Like me starting to like.
think about
That
the lyrics.
song?
No, like dissect the
Lyrics.
dissect the
Oh, she's a lyricist
Yeah,
now.
Still watch the
Ooh.
music video.
Ooh.
Right. But that's the point, is that even something like this is so common that we don't even think about it anymore. We don't even think about it anymore. That when you listen to these types of songs, watch these kinds of movies, it's constantly training you. Hey, you need a romantic relationship. Hey, you need a romantic relationship. It's constantly being reinforced, whether you realize it or not.
Barry Allen. Flash.
Constantly being reinforced.
TV show.
So the question is why?
Who even watches the Flash?
Me.
Not only that, but in case you didn't know this, there's a whole business for dating stuff. There's a whole business.
City folks.
A whole business. So what this means is there's thousands of people who use these sites. Okay? Why? Well, simply put, because they want to be in a relationship. They want to feel that romantic.
Watch the Spy Guys, okay? There's so much.
So the point is, guys, that there's so many businesses as well created specifically for this type of idea, specifically for this type of life. So again, the question is why?
Why?
Why do we see this all around us? Why do we see this all around us? Because if it didn't matter, then why are so many businesses created to try to bring people together? Why? Why is it constantly reinforced? Suchi? People don't want to be lonely.
Like without.
See, like just don't get
Having
it.
like opportunities and everything being so suggestive about being partners. They're gonna call you
So
So
then-
then these apps are created so you don't have to.
Be lonely. Yeah, that's a good point, for sure. But then my question would be, well, what about friends?
They don't count.
Because friends can also help you not feel lonely, right?
Going on Tinder, just
Yeah, but
like,
not
put her,
romantic.
I'm just looking for friends.
Not in a romantic way.
Romantic.
So let me ask you this. What's the difference between friend and you know it, a boyfriend or girlfriend?
Ooh.
Because like at the
You
end.
kiss, they hold hands.
So you said kiss and hold hands. Okay, so is it only
You
physical?
hold hands with your
No.
best friend.
Okay, she said no. So what else is it? What else is it?
Like conversation.
I mean, we're conversating, right? Friends can conversate.
Intimate.
Oh, the way you converse.
Wow.
Do you have an example?
Damn.
Like petting,
Yeah.
endearment,
It's cheap.
Okay.
stuff like.
How long
Okay.
do eyelashes live?
So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, alright? Keep that in mind.
that.
But not only that, but there's this as well. What does this say? What does this say? Yes, we have problems.
What
and I
is
think
this?
if we share bills, furniture, closets, and schedules, they'll all go away. In other words, in case you didn't know this, within the past 10 years, the rate of people cohabitating
What's that?
has been exponential. Meaning they live together without being married or without having any legal ties to each other.
Do they still have
Legal.
children?
Yeah. Like marriage license and stuff. And like, yeah, or sometimes they do have kids, but again, they're not legally married, so that means what happens to the kids, right? Legally, what happens to the kids, if anything were to happen. So this is why you get all these like sticky situations. And the point I'm making here is that, again, the very high statistic now is that many people, instead of being married, they just start to live together. And they start sharing bills.
Wait, but then what are the kids' last names?
Right, that's the question.
The mom?
That's the question, right?
Why does the guy's face, like actual face, take up 2% of his face?
Yeah. So we see here that the cohabitating problem is very pervasive nowadays as well. Okay? And so what I'm saying is in real life, like right here and now, there are people living in this way. Cohabitating without any obligations, no legal loyalties other than just my words. Like, hey, yeah, I love you forever, yeah. And then when something happens, the words don't mean much. So the moment of truth is this. For all of us here, don't be shy. You can share. Who knows someone?
Bro, oh my god. Okay.
Who knows?
Okay.
You got a story? Tell us.
Yeah. My friend, like, he's my boy, you know. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
But he's really stupid sometimes.
What happened?
Okay, so he had this girlfriend, and then suspected her of not liking him anymore, and and that she likes some other dude.
Mhm.
So he was like, you know, if you don't like me, like whatever, you know. And then like 3 days later, he asked this other girl to homecoming, and then like last week, he broke up with that girl and got back with the other girl.
Wow.
The first one.
Yeah, broke
first
up with
one.
that girl.
Wow.
That's-
Did you shake your head at him too?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not good. Anyone else, Benson?
Yeah. I know someone, and his name is Justin Lee.
Okay.
No, we can't expose him like that without him here to defend himself.
Too late. Okay, anyway, continue.
That's it.
Okay, listen, okay, who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, whatever.
You
Just
just let
told
the
we told you this.
I mean, it's recorded, so go ahead.
So he told us that he had a girlfriend, and then James.
Yeah.
James exposed her on Instagram during the same day. and
No,
then-
it was like all of us because we went through her like following page
Uh-huh.
and like the people she was following on Instagram were really really weird. It was so weird. It was so freaking weird.
Wait, so James exposed and then what?
And then we broke up. with her.
Oh, like soon after that?
He was like, no, 'cause Justin asked her if it was true that she was following everyone, and then she was like, you trust them more than that. You trust me.
Oh, yeah.
And
You can literally just go on her follower page though.
Wow, okay. Anyone else? Janet?
So there was this situation in our school, and
You're
then
what?
this kid, he liked this girl, and then like I wasn't there though, and then everybody said that the guy he gave his crush like some gift, and then like
She smacked him, right?
they were boyfriend and girlfriend for like a whole week, and then the girl broke up with him, and she didn't even like him.
Oh.
Just wanted the gift, right? Okay, Suchi?
So this was like elementary school, like second or third grade. No, like
Second
second,
or
third, maybe
Uh-huh.
first. So there's this kid. This was middle school. I'm not serious. He had a girlfriend, and then he had a backup girlfriend.
What?
And then at recess, a group of girls.
At recess?
Yeah, recess. A group of girls would chase him around the whole entire time. Like, every single
Oh, boys chase girls in
What? Recess?
Yeah.
Bro, that happened to me in kindergarten. I was so
No,
I
it
was,
was like
no, I was
in
genuinely scared for my life.
No, and then in third grade.
This girl bit me on my hand. She bit my hand.
Why?
Wow.
Like it wasn't even fun. Like, I was literally running for my life.
Alright, anyone else?
Wait,
Yeah, keep going.
I continue. So like in third grade, because I was going to junior grade and he got into it. And so then he was like, I'm gonna miss like both of my girls. And then in fourth grade, he was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Wow.
Did he get out with another girl?
Oh yeah, he did.
What?
That girl also goes to our school now.
He must be
Wow.
I think it is.
That was fast.
Tell me.
Alright, any other ideas? Or anything you heard of? Or your own personal experience?
I feel like most of my friends, if they do have a girlfriend or whatever, they're kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. So.
Aww.
Wow, interesting. Wait. You mean like as a couple or you mean the girl?
As a-
I'm just clarifying. Wait, so as a couple?
Yeah, as a couple.
That's good. I was like, what is too much, man.
I mean, they're not that cute.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Like I should just have that.
Wow, man, interesting. So you guys do have a lot of stories, huh?
Any personal experience in my life?
Yeah, any personal experiences?
No! That's still things that you
Alright, we can come back to that, for sure. We'll come back to that. But with that said, now that you guys have seen this in real life, right? From kids movies to teenager movies, you know, from like music, from friends you know, right? Everything. You see this in real life, okay? And so here's the point, is that if we follow God, if we follow God, here is some, you can say, pointers for people who follow God. Alright? So first pointer, we are and we are not. Okay? So the first one is we are not, or I should say we do not forbid. Okay?
No boyfriend until you are married.
We do not forbid.
Why did you change accents midway?
Why did you choose that?
No boyfriend till you are married.
So if we follow God, this doesn't mean you can't have a boyfriend or girlfriend. Okay?
Oh, did you watch it on YouTube? The
Alright.
dad just tell
No, I didn't watch it.
the little baby girls like, hey, you still can't have no
No, I didn't watch
boyfriend.
it. So again, if we follow God, this means that it does not mean we can't have, okay, a boyfriend, girlfriend. Got it? Because whether you believe it or not, some people actually think that.
What?
Yeah, some people actually, oh, if you're a Christian, then that means you shouldn't have a boyfriend or girlfriend because it's bad, it's sinful. It's interesting, right?
Very interesting.
But along with that, okay, so if we do not forbid having a boyfriend or girlfriend, then what else? Well, we also do not missionary date or flirt to convert. Okay? So what this means is, I've known people who said that, well, I'm only dating this person because I just wanted to know God. You know, and I just feel like I'm the only person to help them to know God. You know, I'm the only one who can touch their heart to know God. So that's where we're going out.
That's so cringy.
Right, why, right?
That's so cringy.
Because it's kind of like you're using them, right, in a way, to kind of get points from God, yeah. So that's the point. So this is why I'm saying that if we follow God, we also do not do this, okay? We don't use people, all right? That's horrible. Why would you ever use anyone?
That sucks.
But believe it or not, there are people who think this way, okay? There are people who think that the purpose of the purpose of being in a relationship is so that the other person can know God, okay? So we should not be using people, all right? So then the question is, okay, so if we're not this and we're not this, what are we then? What are we, right? What are we? What's the point then, right? And this is what we are. Bear with me here. We are seeking to edify people in all types of relationships so that they may know and have a relationship with God. Okay? So what this means is no matter what type of relationship it is, whether it's like with your mom and dad, with your brother and sister, whether it's you're in a relationship, whatever it is, okay? The purpose of all of these relationships is to continuously help the other person know God. And to strengthen their relationship with God. Obviously that's going to look different depending on who the person is. But the purpose still remains the same. Alright? But before we expound that a bit more, can I have one volunteer? That's not another volunteer.
Suchi.
Suchi? Okay. So Suchi, you can stand right here, face everyone. So here's just what happens, Suchi. I am going to show a picture to everyone here, but don't look at it, okay? And what's going to happen is, these people here are going to try to, I'm going to give everyone only say one word, okay? So whatever picture you see, you're going to have to say one word to try to describe it, or like say like one of its features. So for example, okay, if the picture was a microwave,
Banana.
right, then I would say, buttons. And then you could say bananas if you want, that's not going to help you. And then like they'll say other things, right? Like, heat, or a timer, whatever, right? And then she's going to try to piece it together, or only one picture. She might say this. That's got it. And if Suchi gets it, then she'll get that point as well.
Wow.
What
And
if I
then-
don't get it?
So are we just helping her getting a point?
Yeah, you're just helping me get it.
Well, it's gonna rotate. So you guys gotta help each other.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you guys gotta help each other. You guys got it? Okay, so first one. Again, only one word, and we're gonna start with Hudson and go all the way around. Okay? So you have a lot of yeah,
Say
just one word to describe it. Or one of its features.
Yeah. Wait, so can you only say one word per person?
Yeah.
Will we keep going until she gets it, or do you want to get one word?
Just one word.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Set. One word. No, we started with Hudson.
But it can't be the actual object.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be the object.
Exactly.
Can it be part of the object?
No.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question and get answer?
No, no questions.
Wait, is this
That'd be
time?
too easy.
Is this time?
No, no.
Hudson.
Keep it simple. Simple is easier.
No.
Razor.
Raisin.
Right? He's a razor. Justin?
By wheel.
By wheel.
Sure. Yes.
Wait, what did you say?
By wheel.
By wheel.
By
Wheels.
wheel.
Like 2 wheels. Okay.
Grace?
Oh, is it a lawnmower?
No.
What kind of lawnmower?
Like 4
That's a
wheels.
lawnmower. That's a motorcycle.
Because he said razor and he said like wheel.
By wheel.
Like, what did you
So,
call
like,
it? Like,
It's not a lawnmower. It's okay. Grace? Keep it simple.
Wait, I'm saving the phrase.
Nope, just a word. What?
No.
Metal. She said metal.
What? What? She's still gonna think it's a lawnmower.
Just like-
Metal.
Yes, they are. Have you ever seen a model?
All
Justin?
I can think of is a lawnmower.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's a good
That's still a lawnmower.
Wait, what's right?
Like,
Oh, the ride. Oh, it's like a
The lawnmower is
bicycle
up to
with the
you.
razor.
Janet?
A bicycle with a razor.
What's yours, Janet?
Trying to eat my face.
Well, you gotta say no.
Anything? If you don't have anything, it's fine. Candles.
Oh,
Wait.
that's a good one.
Oh.
Yeah, like,
I mean, I love
Just describe what
I know
you
it's a
see.
vehicle,
Just
but
describe
what
what
has
you
a
see.
razor?
Okay, Nicole.
Oh,
it's.
Why?
Tell her what razor is.
Wait, can I? But I'm gonna say what you said. Like razor brand. The brand.
Oh, it's a scooter.
Yeah.
You didn't even eat my face.
That was confusing though. Okay, next. Who's next?
I'll go.
Justin. Okay. All right. Face them. Okay, so
Oh, goodness.
Wait, I have to give her a point. I guess.
oh yeah, give her a point. Okay. Ready? That's it. Your first one. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Set.
Oh.
Josh?
What?
The name is down here.
Oh.
Wait, does he have to guess that name?
No, it's just.
Let's try for that name.
Okay.
Wait, I
It's like-
can't
it's like a
see it.
specific
You're
name.
blocking
So
it.
you can't say
No.
any word.
Is that my problem?
Never mind.
Oh god! Oh.
Can you say any word?
That's it?
Wait, go back a bit. Go back a bit.
Oh,
Wait,
Call.
wait. Each said one of those words.
Is it a telephone?
Yeah.
You can't say those words, yeah.
Wait, how many guesses do I have?
you
A
have
lot.
Infinity one.
infinite until
Is it a telephone?
Old time.
A rotary phone?
Does that mean?
Yeah, I already said remember.
Close.
Phone. Call old time.
Call old time. Okay. Janet?
Janet.
Button.
Wait, we're not her.
Oh, what was yours?
Like wire.
Cord. She was cord.
I mean.
Telephone?
Okay, Janet?
You got it.
Buttons, okay. Nicole?
I don't know.
Wait, it has buttons?
I guess so.
Dial up. Dial.
You
Dude, you can't say the word.
Rotary phone?
You
Yeah,
still
you got it. You got it.
doesn't
That's
have
another
it.
name for it. That's good.
Dial up.
Yeah, the rotary phone's.
She said it has buttons.
Alright, so
What kind of buttons? I can just a button.
point for
She
Justin.
said
Okay, who wants to do the next one?
I volunteer to tribute.
You have Grace. Raise your hand.
Yeah, she does.
Alright, ready?
I don't think we're gonna guess it though.
Okay, well, Suji will start with you to describe. Okay, ready? Set.
Sweet.
Candy?
No, not candy. Any? Just describe what you see.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Dessert?
Nope, not
Sundae?
dessert.
Ice
Close.
cream sundae? Banana split sundae?
Yeah, close enough.
Chocolate.
How did you do that? How did you do that?
No, ice cream
How did you
sundae,
do that?
banana split.
Sweet.
Hang on now.
Okay,
Haha, I
ready?
did it.
Banana split's not even that good. I'm gonna be honest.
Ready?
I don't remember.
The start with Suchi again to describe. Set, go.
Oh! What is it?
Mr.
But
Beast
like,
in the video.
Share.
on water.
Oh, sorry.
Close. Not both.
Surfboard. Surfboard.
I saw you looking back.
Nicole?
I didn't see anything.
She already guessed both.
Float.
She said on water.
Already guessed boat.
Just describe what you see. Expensive.
A cruise.
Whoa.
Boat.
Close. Jocelyn?
Uh,
Getting close.
cruise boat.
Like rich people.
You can't say that!
Is that
Rich
Jocelyn?
people have
Jocelyn
it.
can say it.
Like she said expensive.
Well, you already said expensive. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
true.
it's not like
Exclusive cruise.
Our cruises, like our normal cruises is cheap.
Wait, Jocelyn, did you go?
The Titanic.
Oh, you don't know? Okay, Grace?
Oh, me already?
Yeah, describe.
Fancy.
A cruise.
Thompson Cruise!
Can you say the letter?
It's fast.
No!
Go.
Private.
Hold up, let's see what these two guys come up with.
Private.
You said private.
Private cruise.
Can I say a rapper name?
Sure.
Lil Yachty.
Who is that?
Oh my
Wait, did she say that? What she said?
Wait, Hudson, what did you say?
Lil Yachty.
Lil Yachty.
The rapper.
Lil Yachty.
A speedboat?
You should surprise.
Lil.
Lil Yachty.
A yacht. Yacht. A yacht. What is this?
It's a yacht!
I got it, didn't I?
You're welcome.
No, you didn't! You didn't.
I got a yacht.
I don't know. Good for you guys.
Eventually.
Don't give her a point for that.
Eventually.
Give me
Okay,
the
let's go
point,
next.
Justin.
Let's go next.
Okay.
Yay.
No, don't give her.
Let's go next.
Yay. No.
Okay, Janet.
You want a point?
Alright, ready? Start with Suchi again. Set.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, do we have to-
Shiny.
Expensive.
Oh my god, just say something.
Yellow? I don't know. It's.
Color.
What?
What?
The car.
First,
She said yellow.
what's
Trophy?
like the specific
What?
one yellow?
Butter. Butter.
What's expensive?
Butter.
It's
24 karat
expensive.
magic.
Oh, that's
Yeah!
That was
Yeah.
one
Good
we're
job.
Yeah, well, you said on
Oh, that's
All
that's
right.
what I asked you before.
We'll come back to that as well. But before we go anywhere else, this is biblical perspective on boyfriend girlfriend. There's a lot. We're not going to go through it all. Okay? Just through one. Just through one. And it's this. 1 Corinthians. Alright, 1 Corinthians. Says, but food does not bring us near to God. We are no worse if we do not eat, and no better if we do. Be careful, however, that the exercise of your freedom does not become a stumbling block to the weak. So this weak brother, for whom Christ died, is destroyed by your knowledge. When you sin against your brothers in this way and wound their weak conscience, you sin against Christ. I know there's a lot of different words in here, but I'll just break it down for us. In other words, what this Bible verse is telling us, instructing us, is that if we do anything that causes another person, specifically another Christian, to lose their faith in God, or to doubt God, or to sin, if I'm the perpetrator, or if I'm the instigator, or if I'm a source of doing that in another person's life, then I myself have sinned as well. And so what this means is, if you are dating, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, okay, and you do anything to make that person fall away from God, or run away from God, or doubt God, you are just as responsible. You are just as responsible, okay? In other words, you have also sinned because you've abused that relationship with that person. This isn't only for boyfriend and girlfriend, it's for everyone, even your brothers, your sisters, your parents, and same thing for your parents to you, right? So in any relationship, if we abuse those relationships and we start to make those people sin or influence those people in a bad way, then we ourselves have already sinned as well. We ourselves have already rebelled against God as well. So what this means is, in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, okay, if you cause that person to lose faith, or if you cause that person to not like God, or if you cause that person to doubt God, or if you cause that person to do anything like that, then that's also on your fault as well. Alright? So in any relationship, in this case, boyfriend-girlfriend, whatever we do in those kinds of relationships, it must have one purpose and one goal. Is to help that person continuously know God. And to build that relationship with God. If you're doing the opposite of that, then that's also on your fault as well. Alright? So again, not just for boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, but any relationship. Okay? And so I have from my own experience. Alright, so I want to share this with you so you know that, I'm not just speaking from thin air, okay? And I know I briefly mentioned this before, earlier in the summer, but I'll just go through it again for those who weren't there. So there was, 10 years ago when I was about your age, I was also involved in a relationship. Right? So when I was 14, right now I'm 24, so when I was 14, okay, I was also involved in a relationship with a girl from youth group, believe it or not, right? And because of that, everyone knew each other, right? Everyone kind of knew each other's business. And so when I was with this girl, I started to realize that a lot of it was really, really bad. Like really bad. And what I mean by that is, so for myself, that relationship lasted about 4 years, so throughout high school.
That's long.
And right, it is long. But the thing with that though is that it was on and off. Right?
I get it.
So what that meant was, during the school year, right? Yeah, during the school year we'll be together. But then, summer happens, you get a bit rowdy. So okay, let's just take a break. Let's take a break, right? So you take a break. I took a break, right? But during that summer, guess what I also did? I also, like you mentioned earlier, tried to have a second plan. Had a backup girlfriend, right? But the problem was, in having that backup, guess what happened? It wasn't subtle. It wasn't covert. In other words, it was pretty obvious. And so my girlfriend, who I was taking a break from, found out that I had a second, you can say, girlfriend, right? And so this pattern continued for about probably throughout 3 or 4 years that happened. Okay, and as you can just imagine, this causes a really deep scar, right? Emotional scar, right? Almost like a type of trauma within this young lady. But this is something that I did, right? And I think through it all, the Lord continuously taught me and showed me that the major reasons, this long story short, the major reasons why I did this, okay, was like what all you guys mentioned earlier, was because number one, I felt like, okay, if I didn't have a girlfriend, what does that say about me as a person? Because everyone else around me, including music, the movies, my friends, right? Everyone else around me is saying, hey bro, you need a girlfriend. They didn't say this in this exact words, but this is essentially what they were saying. But hey, you need a girlfriend. If you don't have a girlfriend, that means that you're not lovable. That means you're not likable. That means you're not accepted. That's what they were telling me. And so I believed it, right? So that's why I went out searching for so many, with other different girls. So not only was I trying to find love and acceptance, but also secondly, the reason why I did it was because I was very, very lonely. I don't know if you guys felt this yet, but nowadays, in today's world, it's very hard to have friends. And I mean like good friends. Friends who will be there for you, friends who will get your back, friends who will counsel you, friends who will listen to you, Friends who will be there for you when you laugh, when you cry, anything. And it's really hard to have good friends. And so at that time and at that age, yeah, like I was cool with everyone, right, at school and in youth group, but I didn't really have like a friend, like a close friend. I was cool with everyone, right? Yeah, we get along, we joke here and there, we hang out here and there, but we don't actually really like care for each other in the sense of that emotional bond. And so because of that, I felt like that emotional bond was lacking. Now I don't know about you guys, but being raised by, Asian immigrant parents, sometimes it's very hard to understand if they like care for you, if they love you. Because sometimes they're not good with their words. Right? They just tell you to do this, do this, do this, do good in this, do this, do this, right? But sometimes they don't really ask, hey, how's your day been? Hey, how's your week been? Hey, what's been bothering you this week? How can I help, right? Like sometimes it's hard for Asian parents to express this. And so even at home, I was feeling that gap. Yeah, man, like I feel lonely because one, I don't have friends, and two, my family, my parents, they don't ever say like, hey, I love you, or hey, I'm proud of you, hey, I care for you, right? They just tell me what to do. And so because of that, and me trying to understand this type of world, you just start to grow very lonely, you start to grow feeling very worthless. And so because of that, I think that was a big reason why I just dived headfirst into these types of relationships. Because I truly believed that if I don't have this kind of relationship, maybe I really am worthless. Maybe I really am lonely. Which is why I pursued these things with all of my strength, all of my time, all of my will. Because I truly believe that lie. Again, because of everything I've been raised with, right? Similar to how you are being raised. The movies, the music, your friends, everything that's combined together to tell you this one message. That, hey, you need to be in a relationship. And if you don't, you're probably really lonely, you're probably don't have friends, right? No one likes you, no one cares about you. And yeah, so that's why you need a relationship. That was the message I was getting. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was the message you guys are still getting today. But thank God that because of that experience, I can be here today to share with all of you guys as well. That, hey, you don't need to listen to that lie. You don't need to be in a relationship in order to be loved, in order to be accepted. You don't need to be in a relationship in order to feel less lonely. Okay? And I say that from experience. Alright? From experience. And if you ever want to know more, like, please come talk to me, come talk to Gabby. Like, we both have our own experiences that we want all of you guys to benefit and learn from. Alright? So if I could summarize some things I learned, again, long story short, if I can summarize it, I think it would come down to this. Largely is that, right here. In case you didn't know this, dating and boyfriend-girlfriend, it's new. Did you know that dating and boyfriend and girlfriend, that didn't exist 100 years ago? It only started to exist maybe 50, 60 years ago. It's new. Which means that for the majority of human history, okay, there was no such thing as boyfriend or girlfriend. Meaning that for the majority of recorded human history, right, over 2, 3, 4, 5,000 years, there was no such thing as boyfriend-girlfriend. Just think about that. No such thing as boyfriend-girlfriend for 5,000, 6,000 years. And then up until recently, 50, 60 years ago, now they created this thing called boyfriend-girlfriend. Why? Why after 5,000 years it didn't exist and all of a sudden it's here? Why is that? And I would say here's one reason why. Consumerism. Consumerism. What that means is, in case you didn't notice, the activities we just played earlier today, the would you rather, right? And the describing the features, how many times do we treat people that way when we talk about boyfriend, girlfriend? Oh, would you rather go out with this person or that person? Oh, I like person A better because they have this, right? I don't really like person B because they don't have this, right? Or how about, oh, you should go out with so-and-so because they have these kinds of features. They're hardworking, they're smart, they're beautiful, right? They speak different languages, right? Their parents are cool, they have a car, right? Blah, blah, blah. Like you list up all these features trying to get your friends or you, right? Trying to get someone to like this person. So how many times are we treating people like we're treating a product? How many times are we treating people like they're just something to be consumed? Just like water or something, right? Like there's 20 different brands of water at the store. You can choose all of them. It's still water, right? They all just might be slightly different, but regardless, they all have different features. And again, how many times do we treat people the same way? Particularly when it comes to boyfriend, girlfriend. We treat them like they're an object. We treat them like they're just like a chair, right? Oh, I like this chair, I don't like this chair, it's too hard, it's too soft, it's too high, it's too low, it's too cold, it's metal, it's wood, I don't like it. And then you move on to the next chair, right? How often do we do that to people? Oh, I don't like this guy because he's too like this. You know, maybe I'll like this other guy because he's less like that. Right? Or I don't like this girl because she's too this. You know, I'll go on to the next girl because she's different. In other words, how many times do we treat people like they're an object? Okay? Because I know for myself, that's what I did. I saw that my ex-girlfriend, the one I was in a relationship for 4 years, she didn't have certain features that I wanted. She didn't have certain characteristics that I wanted. So instead of being with her, I would have rather go with option B, this other girl, because she has XYZ features. But when I found out those features weren't good, what did I do? I came running back to my ex. Because I was treating her like an object. I wasn't treating her like a person. I was just treating her something to be consumed, like a product, right? Whether you like an iPhone or Android, right? Chocolate or vanilla, right? Or ride a bike or motorcycle, whatever. That's how I was treating her. Just like those same principles, consumerism. And so what I'm saying to you is, think about it, all right? Again, if we say we follow God, that doesn't mean we can't have boyfriend and girlfriend, but it does mean, are we treating them like an object? Are we treating them like something to just use and then throw away? Or are we actually looking at them as a person with feelings, with dreams, with hopes, right? Or are they just another object for our consumption to make us happy? I don't care about your happiness, I just care about my happiness, right? So what are we doing in this whole boyfriend-girlfriend world, crazy world that we live in? So that's one thing that I learned. The other thing I learned was this. One reason why boyfriend-girlfriend exists, okay, is because how do I know? How do I know if you are a legitimate person or not? Because we all know that we like to wear masks, right? When we're at school, we act a little bit different. When we're at home, we act different, right? When we're at our activities, when we're with our friends, we act different. We wear masks. And so what that means is, how do I know if me talking to you right now is not you wearing your mask? How do I know that? And vice versa, right? How do you know if I'm not wearing a mask right now? How do you know if I'm just not showing you what you want to see, what you want to hear, just so I can have my way with you? How do you know that? You don't. And so this whole dating and boyfriend-girlfriend thing exists partially for that reason. So that we can go and find out personally if that person is real or fake. If that person is actually caring or if they're just pretending to be caring. So we can find out if that person is, do they actually care for you more than just your physical features? Or do they only care for your physical features? That this whole idea of dating a boyfriend-girlfriend exists because of that. Because in case you didn't know, for the majority of human history, a lot of things were done with families, right? My family would say, hey, yeah, I know my son, Fong. He's a good son. He's very hardworking. And he'll take care of anyone that he loves. And I go talk to, like, for example, Gabby's dad, right? And then Gabby's dad was like, yeah, I know my daughter, Gabby. She's also hardworking. She will also take care of anyone she loves. I will vouch for her. You have my word that Gabby is a legitimate person. And my dad would say the same thing about me. And because of that, then our families would agree for us to be married. Because our families knew us the best. Think about it. How many of your family members know you the best? They know how you get mad, right? They know why you get annoyed. They know why you're sad. They know why you're happy. Think about it. So it's the same thing. Back in the day, thousands of years ago, that's what people did. They relied on their families to be their credentials, to basically be their resume, to say that they're a legitimate person. But nowadays, because we no longer, again, I'm talking about larger society, no longer values family, and everyone is pretty fluid and mobile, moving around everywhere across the US, across the world, how am I going to ask your family if they know you? You might not even be close to your family. Your family might not even know you. So I can't ask your family. So the only way that I can know if you're real is if I talk to you myself. And then I try to find out if, hey, is this person actually caring? Do they actually will they actually love me for who I am? Or are they just using me? I won't know that until I go on a date with you. I won't know that until we're boyfriend and girlfriend, we're courting for X amount of months or years. So in other words, this whole idea of boyfriend girlfriend exists because there's no solid type of communities anymore to truly vouch for you, to truly say that, hey, this is a legitimate person. Not only that, but there's no more. We also have this consumerism mindset as well, treating people like objects. Okay, and so this is why that Bible verse was so important, because that Bible verse is telling us that no matter what you do, okay, if you follow God in all of your relationships, it needs to benefit that person. It needs to build that person up. Not tear them down, and not lead them astray. All right? It needs to build them up. That was the whole point of the Bible verse. Because this is the type of the world that we live in. You don't know if someone is real or fake, right? And you don't know if they're just using you or not. You don't know that. Only when you start to engage in that level of depth in that relationship, then you will start to get a better picture of, is this person legitimate, or are they just using me? And that's scary. I don't know about you, but that's scary. I can imagine so many times in my own life when I was stuck with that question. Is this person real? Or are they just faking it until they make it? I don't know. You just have to go for it. And so I share that with you because I want all of you to be able to learn from that as well. All right? And so in order to summarize even more, ask yourselves this question, okay? If you date, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, or if you're in a relationship, ask yourself these questions. First one is, what attracts you? Christian or non-Christian? Okay, and here's the reason why this is an important question, okay? Because I truly believe that whoever people have a boyfriend, girlfriend with, or whoever they are in a relationship with, it truly shows you what is on their heart. Again, whoever that person is in a relationship with, it shows you what is truly on their heart. Because what is on their heart, they're trying to find it. They're trying to get it in another person. Alright? So they go to this person, because this person looks like you're the one who most, best illustrates what I want, and what is on my heart. So for example, I've known many, many people who say they're Christians, and they've dated or had boyfriend, girlfriend with non-Christians. Okay? And what happens many times is that those Christians fall away. They start to not believe in God anymore. They start to do whatever they want, regardless of whatever God says, regardless of what their parents say. They don't care. Because they believe that what was truly on their heart, what truly attracted them, was not about God at all. But it was about serving themselves. So here's an example. Like for me and Gabby, okay? When we first started, I caught a courtship. When we first started courting, that was the number one thing on our minds. Was that the reason why I'm attracted to Gabby is because she constantly challenges me, pushes me, and points me back to God. And if someone doesn't believe in God, what are they pointing you towards? What are they encouraging you to do? If not to know God, if not to live a life to know God, what are they influencing you to do then? And so this question of non-Christian or Christian, it's not to say Christians are better. No, of course not. Christians are still lost and struggling with sin as well. But the difference is that if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend with a Christian, the difference is that they will be responsible, held responsible. That same Bible verse I just showed you, they are held responsible for that. That in this relationship with you, they need to be benefiting you. They need to be building you up, not tearing you down, not using you or abusing you. Okay? If they are Christian, they have that obligation. They have that responsibility. And you can hold them to it, keep them accountable. Most importantly, keep them accountable to God. But if they don't believe in God, what are you going to keep them accountable to? They can say, they can do whatever they want. And what are you going to point to as the obligation, as the standard? There is no standard. It's just whatever you make it. And that's why it's very, very dangerous. And all of us need to exercise caution here. Ask yourself that question. What attracts you? If it's just the body, you're way far from understanding what love is. Love is not restricted to the body. Alright? And if it's something more than that, I would challenge you. Think about it. Wrestle with it. And if you have questions, again, myself and Gabby, all the other adults who are here to conversate about that. Alright? And secondly, what is the purpose? What's the point? Remember earlier I asked you guys, hey guys, what's the point of boyfriend-girlfriend? I don't know. Right? No one knows. No one knows. But this is very important, okay? Because if you are in a relationship that has no goal, no purpose, aren't you just going to be wandering aimlessly? Aren't you just going to be like doing things for no reason? Living a life with no aims, no goal? Nothing. You're just going to be floating around, having no sense of direction, lost. And so this is why in any relationship, but in this case, boyfriend-girlfriend, it's very important to, I think, state, what's the point of this relationship? What's the purpose? If it's just to fool around, I'm not interested. If you just want to play games with me, go somewhere else. I'm not here to just fool around. I'm not here to just play games. No. I want something that is actually going to be of substance. Something that's actually going to have potential for growth. Potential to mature. Potential for something beautiful. I don't want to be used or abused. So what's the purpose? Because many times, whether we realize it or not, a lot of times our purpose in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship is consumerism. Meaning that, oh, I feel lonely today. Oh, I know, I'll call my boyfriend or girlfriend. They'll make me feel less lonely. I don't feel loved today. Oh, I know, I'll call my boyfriend or girlfriend and they'll make me feel more loved. I don't feel this. Oh, I'll call my boyfriend or girlfriend and they'll make me feel less. In other words, you're just using that person. You're using that person to make yourself feel better. That's horrible. How would you like it if someone was using you? Right? They don't care about you. They're just using you. Just like you're, a paper cup. They're just using you. After that, they just throw you away. That's no way to live life, especially if you follow God. And that's the point. What's the purpose? If I only have a boyfriend or girlfriend so I can feel better at night, so I feel less lonely, so I feel more loved, or I feel more popular, whatever, that's not going to last you. Eventually, that's going to come to an end, and it's going to hurt. Either you or them or both, whatever. It's going to sting. And so ask yourself that question as well. If I do date, if I'm in a relationship, what is the purpose? Am I just going to use this person? Or am I actually trying to learn and grow together with this person? What's the point? Because I'll tell you right now, if you don't have a purpose for your relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, there's going to be a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Because you might have your own ideas. He or she will have their own ideas. You're going to butt heads a lot. Many conflicts are going to happen. Because there was no stated purpose, both of you are going to be on different pages, constantly battling with each other. And I know this from experience as well. As the last relationship is telling me all of you. But along with that, third, seek advice and prayer. Okay? This is very important. Because many times, especially in the US, we believe that If I'm in a relationship, if I have a boyfriend or girlfriend, it's only between me and that person. No one else. Only me and that person. Even when you have other people who genuinely care about you, and like, hey, I've seen this happen with you and your boyfriend or girlfriend. I'm a bit concerned. Can you tell me more about it? It's easy to get very offended. Be like, oh yeah, you don't know anything about my life. You don't know what's going on, so don't try to judge me. Don't try to give me advice. Don't try to lecture me. Right? That's very dangerous. Once you start doing that, you're going to isolate yourself, and you're going to get lost in this tunnel with this person. And then eventually you're going to feel like you have no way out. You have no one truly there for you to listen to you and to help guide you through these problems with this person. And so this is where I would say, if you are in a relationship, please come let a trusted spiritual leader know. Whoever you trust that knows the Lord. Because I guarantee you, if you are serious about boyfriend-girlfriend and a relationship, it's going to get hard. It's going to be difficult. You're going to have problems. But it's when you have those problems, you also have people like myself, and like Abby, and like Jeff. We're spiritual leaders who will be willing to listen to you first. We're not going to lecture you. We want to listen first. We want to understand your situation first. We're not here to throw advice at you. Alright? We're not here to judge you. We're not here to play games. Okay? Just here to listen. That's all. But to summarize, is this. Seek to edify people in all relationships so that they may have a relationship ultimately with God. Edify means something that's beneficial. Again, something that's constructive, something that builds the person up, that they can grow. And that's the point of all our relationships. If you follow God, we have that privilege to do that. That in every relationship, the purpose is growth. The purpose is construction. Okay? The purpose is not to hurt each other. And we are held responsible to that. Alright? Great. With that said, anything else?